Radio.
Well, hello and welcome to the podcast. We're looking at none other than Wendy Williams. You know, there's been a lot of people that have said a lot of things about Wendy. They either like her or they dislike her. She's one of those people that you love to hate. She's also one of the people that have a lot of controversy surrounding some of the topics and people that she's discussed over the past several years. As most of us may already know, Wendy Williams has now faded away from the limelight of her television show. She's not there. And I believe the show is no longer available to be seen unless, of course, it's in, some pocket of the world. To my knowledge, they don't even have any of her reruns. What we're looking at tonight is a very tragic story on this podcast. In my opinion, it is a tragic story because we're looking at a woman who literally crumbled while we watched. She went from wonderful fame, having a husband and a son, beautiful home, finances, and everything. What would look like the American dream to most, she had. And then we began to have a very close view of her life as she and her husband crumbled, as she found that she thought it was necessary to share with the public that her husband had been cheating on her with a woman for several years. And they had literally used her money to move right down the street from where she was living, purchased a home with the money that Wendy had made. And also it was his as well because they had worked together in that capacity. Well, we're going to look at a few questions tonight. We're going to look at when did she fall ill? When did she leave the limelight? Um, when did she have her funds taken? And she's now struggling to get her money back. She's struggling to gain control of her finances. The first thing that I want to look at is something that I know a lot of us were thinking about at one point or another because I know that I was, and I followed this very, very closely. I followed it because I thought there's something to this. And yeah, let's just go on ahead and look at these two tweets. And we're going to start here. We have to start here because prior to this, there weren't any major scary sides of what could go on. So here we go. This is a tweet, what was then a tweet. And it's on the 93.1 FM channel, Sam and Silk. What we're looking at is her, Wendy, talking to Dr. Oz. And I think that's an apropos place to start simply because after this, we can then go on to how we got where she is right now. The date for this is March of 2021 is when this article was published. So let's get right into this. Are you able to see it is the question. No, you're not. It takes you straight to this. This is where I want you to go. This is going to take us directly over to Instagram. So let's get it. We'll go to Instagram and then you can see it. I'll share that screen instead since they make it the way they want it to be. All right, here we go. All right, here she says what she feels about the whole deal.
Me about Wendy will get the flu shot. I've never had the flu. I'm not getting a flu shot. I very rarely get a cold. I never have headaches. I don't take an aspirin.
Hear that? Anybody out
because
there?
I feel my heart murmur or something like that. I'm not getting. No, I don't trust it. There, I said it.
Okay, yeah. I want to play that again. So let me empty.
Go back to vaccines for a second because what you say and believe is so important to a lot of people. I mean, millions and millions of Americans are going to say Wendy Williams didn't get a vaccine, so I don't want to get a vaccine. So let me just ask you if there's anything that could happen that would make you feel comfortable. 10 million people get vaccinated without a problem. Your neighbor gets vaccinated, a sibling, your son gets vaccinated, someone that's dear to you gets.
All right, so you saw her saying
she wasn't going to do it. Are you planning on getting your vaccine?
No.
No.
No. I don't trust it.
This was March.
I've never gotten the flu shot either, though. And you and I have talked about that. And several of the doctors on my team talked to me about Wendy will get the flu shot. I've never had the flu. I'm not getting a flu shot. I very rarely get a cold. I never have headaches. I don't take an aspirin because I feel my heart murmur or something like that. I'm not getting, no, I don't trust it. There, I said it.
Okay, that was part one. We're not going to go to part two because the most important piece was the part one. There is a part two, but we don't need it. Now, the next thing that I want to take a look at is dated September of 2021. Okay. These dates are very important. And even though we're talking about her and the situation that she's in, you know, they just came out with a brand new show that's dealing with her. And it's apparently they say that it is executive produced by Wendy. But Wendy, of course, as we all know, may or may not know, they've said that she's destitute and she says she's destitute. Let me first make sure that I say this very, very transparent. I want to be very transparent. I like this lady. My heart has always gone out to her. She's been very transparent about her cocaine addiction. She was transparent about her marriage. She was transparent about how she felt about her marriage. She was transparent about everything. And up to this date, she has been as well. Now, I know a lot of people dislike individuals who are people like Rona Barrett, people like Wendy Williams, who are gossip columnists. I mean, here I am on this podcast and people could dislike me, and that's okay. My main point for bringing this up is because I've covered a story about her in the very beginning when they had closed down her opinion. I mean, her account, not her opinion. Well, they did really. In essence, they did. When they originally closed down her account, I posted a video of her, and it was not what they had her looking like. They got her out here in these streets now looking crazy. And it just breaks my heart. So I try to make sure that I use the best looking thumbnail for her, because it is heartbreaking to understand that this happened to her, but it could happen to anybody, especially when we get to the point of where we're going to start talking about the financial advisor. When we get to that point, for those of you who have, like many of us, portfolios and things of that nature, baby, you better get a living will, or you better get something that's and snatch that out of those individuals' hands, because this right here is a tragic story that could happen to any of us. All right. So this is dated September 15th, 2021. We just got through hearing what she said out of her own mouth about what she felt. Now, at one point, September of 2021, Wendy Williams tested positive for COVID-19, and her eponymous talk show, season 13, has been delayed until next month. Remember, this is dated the 2021. All right. Now, the Debmar Mercury produced show announced that Williams' diagnosis on its official Instagram account late Wednesday afternoon. Quote, while continuing her health evaluations, listen very closely. While continuing her health evaluations, Wendy has tested positive for a breakthrough case, according to the show's statement. Quote, to allow Wendy time to quarantine and fully recover, and to ensure that our production fully abides by the SAG-AFTRA and the DGA protocols, we expect to begin the 13th season of The Wendy Williams Show on Monday, October 4th. In the meantime, repeats will be scheduled. Did anybody get what I just said? If anybody got what I just said, let me know by hitting that like button and give me a 1 in the chat. I really want you guys to hit the like button while you're here or while you're watching in the replay. It's vitally important. The reason why I want to know if you heard what I just said, the part that was important. Thank you, Sheila. You better work, girl. Now that Sheila got it in there, that's all that I needed. That's all I needed. Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. Oh, Sheila. No, just joking. But I used to like that song. Okay. It says last week, the Instagram account announced that the National Radio Hall of Famer canceled all of the promotional appearances for the show due to ongoing health issues. Now, this for me is a little bit of a discrepancy, because I've seen in 2 places where they say March of 2021. Conversely, I've seen 3 places where it says March of 2020 is 2 places. And where I've seen it corrected, it's been 2021. My notes say 2021. It says in March of 2020, But again, it was March of the same year. This is September the 15th, 2021. That last Instagram post that I showed you, when you go to the actual post there on Twitter, on X, it shows the date, March of 2021, not 2022. The conversation happened March of 2021, not 2020, not 2022, not 2023. It showed a totally different date. And when you go to Dr. Oz's channel, they've pushed the date all the way up on that very same video to the present time frame of 2024. Now, you can change dates in YouTube. You can go in and change the date and show when the date has been, when the video was actually uploaded, or if they take it down and re-edit it and put it back up, it shows the current date. Here's my purpose for mentioning this. It's a very uncomfortable thing to see the dates differ. Here's why. April of 2021 is why. Let's continue to read, and we'll see these little key points here before we get into where she is now and what's going on right now. It says, in March of 2020, the 57-year-old divorcee empathetically told Dr. Oz that she would not be getting inoculated. No, I don't trust it. I've never gotten a flu shot either. You guys just heard that. I'm not going to repeat that. In May, however, but it was May of 2021. She met with him in March and May of 2021. However, the Asbury Park, New Jersey native announced that her live studio audience would be able to return on June 1st of 2021 to its Chelsea set, only if they were fully inoculated. On the Emmy Award nominated Chat Fest, the brutally honest Lifetime biopic, and in her best-selling autobiography, she openly discussed some of the health challenges that she was having, to include the Graves' disease, and I think it's called lymphedema. Okay? She was fully vaxxed. Fully. 110% of the way. Why? Because of what Sheila just showed us. So let's look at what this term means, breakthrough. While we're here, let's just look at what that means. A breakthrough case is identified as detection of SARS-CoV-2 RNA or antigen in respiratory specimen collected from a person 14 days after receipt of all recommended doses. We're going to leave that right there. Okay, that's that. Now, let's look at this story that is dated June 3rd, 2022. Let me see if I even want to read that one first. Yeah, I do. Yeah. All right. Here's a story that is dated 2022, which was just last year. Now you see what it means. That's the reason why I was asking what that meant, if you guys knew what it meant. Talk show Wendy Williams placed under court-ordered financial guardianship. This is a little different. Let me tell you why it's different. Because it was not necessarily a court's idea. It was somebody else's idea. Okay? Yeah, it was. And wait till I'm itching to get to this. I'm itching. Okay. In her medical absence from the Wendy Williams show, 6-time Emmy-nominated talk show host Wendy Williams has been fighting to take back control of her bank accounts. The daytime talk show announced in October of 2021 that Williams had experienced serious complications from Graves' disease and a thyroid condition. The show continued on without the host, instead featuring other guest hosts. Attorney LaShawn Thomas told The Hollywood Reporter that Williams asked Wells Fargo for her bank statements so that she could switch banks over suspicions about her former Wells Fargo financial advisor, Lori Schiller. Wells Fargo refused and put a temporary hold on Williams' account, claiming that she was incapacitated and a victim of undue influence and financial exploitation, before filing a petition for guardianship, according to Variety. Williams says that she had fired Schiller, but Wells Fargo continued its refusal to give her full access to her accounts. Williams and Thomas have denied any claims that she is not well enough to look after her own money. During her time away from the show, Wendy Williams has employed holistic health professionals to help her reach optimal health during her treatment of Graves' disease and thyroid concerns, Thomas said in a statement obtained by Variety. Wells Fargo issued a statement at the time in an apparent effort to address Ms. Williams' concerns that she was unable to pay her mortgage and her employees' wages. Quote, Wells Fargo's priority is the financial well-being of Ms. Williams and the preservation of her privacy. As we have expressed to the court, Wells Fargo is open to working with Ms. Williams' counsel to release funds directly to her creditors for bills historically and regularly paid from her accounts. Temporary guardian was appointed in March, and in May, a New York judge appointed a new guardian in a move that effectively removed Wells Fargo from operational control of Ms. Williams' funds. Deadline reports. The new guardian's identity has not been publicly revealed. Despite the update, Williams and her attorney continue to push back. Please be advised, there's a quote, please be advised that Wendy is not in agreement with the appointment of a financial guardian by the court. Wendy has been very clear that she does not want a financial guardian to tell her what she can do and what she cannot do with her money, Thomas said, according to page 6. Now, because of the fact that this is dealing with law and all that good stuff, I've decided to look at an article that was written by Keystone Law, all right, and let them give us a nice example of where they're sitting and what they think about this. They're giving us their legal opinion, and I think that's a good thing. But this is it. It comes from Keystone Law, and this is what they do all day long. They deal with this type of law. Hi, Angela Jordan. All right, so hold on here. Okay, so it says this is updated. Ironically, it's updated. And I think a lot of things are getting updated because of the fact that, now her show, this movie is coming out on Lifetime. Last updated February 1st, 2024, Wendy Williams' guardianship explained by a probate lawyer. The question is here. What's going on with Wendy Williams? In early of 2022, Wells Fargo froze Williams' bank accounts and filed a petition for temporary financial guardianship over the former talk show host. Her bank froze her accounts and filed a petition for a temporary financial guardianship over close to $20 million. That's what everybody is not knowing. People are running around saying, she was broke and she was this and that. No, close to $20 million. Okay. So it says here that over the former talk show host, arguing that she is of sound mind. Williams and her legal team are refuting this claim and fighting to help her regain control of her finances. So far, their efforts have not been successful. In this article, it says, Keystone's conservatorship attorneys dissect the Wells Fargo Wendy Williams guardianship matters and analyze the legality of Wells Fargo's actions. The TV personality, Wendy Williams, 57. Now, this says 57 because this is updated as of February the 1st of 2024. She and I are exactly the same age. Both of us are 59, okay? It says TV personality Wendy Williams, 57, allegedly requested her bank statements from Wells Fargo at the start of the year to find that not only had the financial institution restricted her from accessing them, but it had frozen her bank accounts and petitioned the court for a temporary financial guardianship over her as well. The motive behind Wells Fargo's action supposedly was to protect Williams' finances because Wells Fargo financial advisor Lori Schiller, Now, mind you, Lori Schiller, according to Wendy Williams' attorney and according to Wendy Williams, was already fired. She no longer wanted to deal with Wells Fargo, according to reports and according to what the attorney said. Wendy Williams' attorney said allegedly. They alleged that Wendy had already gotten rid of Schiller and Wendy was leaving the bank, which was the main purpose, according to the attorney in the other article, for going to the bank to request her statements in the first place because she was moving her money. Okay? All right. So the motive behind Wells Fargo's action supposedly was to protect Williams's finances because Wells Fargo financial advisor Lori Schiller had notified the bank that the former talk show host was of unsound mind. Williams, who denies this claim, has been fighting ever since to regain the access to her bank accounts and end the guardianship. Question: do you remember what she just got through saying? At the top of the podcast, we started talking specifically about what Wendy said. She was feeling like there was something that just wasn't right, right? And I'm paraphrasing here, right? She just said that there was something funky about what was going on. She just did not like the feeling of what was happening. So she decided, let me go ahead. I don't let this chick go. Let me move my money, right? But now all of a sudden, what was it that she was feeling that wasn't right? Was somebody dipping and dabbing in her money? Because when you have one of these individuals over your money, they do have a certain limited amount of authority to do certain things. They have a limited amount of authority. So it goes on here to say that Williams' highly publicized dispute with Wells Fargo comes on the heels of a controversial Britney Spears conservatorship case, which was the subject of the Free Britney movement and culminated in the termination of a 13-year conservatorship in 2021. While both cases have come under public scrutiny and spotlight the harm and ethics violations that could result from an unwarranted conservatorship or conservatorship abuse, there are many instances in which conservatorships are not only necessary, but can greatly benefit the person they were enacted to protect. Yeah, I could imagine somebody who can't get up and cook for themselves, somebody who can't get up and go to the grocery store, somebody who can't, you see what I'm saying? There's plenty of people who can't get around, who that would benefit. And then there are several people who can still get around and don't have nobody touching their money at all. It goes on to say, that said, did Wells Fargo have the right to freeze Wendy Williams' bank account? Is Wendy Williams' guardianship unwarranted? Is the Wendy Williams versus Wells Fargo dispute likely to end in the Star's favor? And could Wells Fargo or another bank freeze your account for similar reasons? Now, this obviously is on their page, and obviously they want you to reach out to them, okay? And I'll just give you the name again, Keystone Law Group, PC, Probate Attorneys. The last sentence says, Keystone's probate attorneys address these questions and more in this article on Wendy Williams' conservatorship of the estate. You have all of these pieces down here. What is a guardianship? Timeline for Wendy Williams and the dispute. Is Wendy Williams' financial guardianship genuinely needed? Let's see. Is that where we are? Yeah, let's go. As far as whether Wells Fargo's action towards Wendy Williams were warranted, it's hard to say without analyzing the court documents, which have been sealed. What can be said, however, is that courts do typically do their due diligence in deciding whether or not a guardianship conservatorship is needed, since the effect of such an arrangement is an adult being stripped of some of their most basic rights. Before approving or denying a guardianship or conservatorship, the courts generally hold a hearing in which both sides have the opportunity to present evidence and testimony. In Williams' case, the court decided to place her under a temporary financial guardianship first, and then later officially appoint an anonymous financial guardian who may or may not be the same temporary guardian that was appointed in March to remain in the role until at least July. However, as of September, the guardianship is still in place, and no reason has been provided as to why. Was there no other way for Wells Fargo to protect Wendy Williams' finances? Guardianship, such as Williams, are generally established as a last resort. This is due to how restrictive they can be. If there is another less restrictive alternative to conservatorship, guardianship, to adequately protect an incapacitated adult. This grown woman was not incapacitated. She was not incapacitated. Not at all. So that means that maybe her intuition, when she felt like something was awry with her money, maybe she was correct. And maybe, let's just imagine for a moment. Let's just imagine for a moment that while she was feeling a little uneasy, and maybe she made a couple of statements to this person, and we're just imagining, we don't have any proof, okay? But let's just imagine that she made a comment to this chick, and this chick got scared because her license is based on the SEC. She's got to have her license based, and all the rules and regulations that she's got to follow has to be pursuant to the law. And then also, if there is any impropriety going on with her money, the problem could be that she could lose her job, that she could go to jail. So isn't it better for her to just hide everything if this is the case? Because we don't know. We're just saying. We're just saying. Okay? All right. So let's just keep going. I'm just asking a couple of questions. That's all. That's it. Just asking a couple of questions. Now, while Williams allegedly granted her son Kevin Jr. power of attorney, which gave him the authority to manage both her finances and welfare, the court evidently believed that these documents were not sufficient to protect Miss Williams. We gonna protect you. We gonna protect you. We got you, the bank says. And then they go right there and they start talking to some of their buddies that work in the sector and the courts. Big banks have big friends. And this is, again, we're speculating here. We're just, adding and embellishing. This is no truth. I have no proof that this is true. I'm just saying, what if this is what happened? Because now you've said that while this woman that we had seen just a few months before this, who was totally okay, until of course she had that breakthrough situation and never showed back up on camera, not on her show anyway, okay? And she was still able to, once everything was sort of settled, pop up in and out of town, walking around, even though she may have had an escort. She seemed to be okay as she was able to speak. She just got through putting out a television program. So apparently she's not gone. She's not incapacitated. I would look for something like this to be for somebody who had a major accident or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they were driving down the street and had a terrible accident. And when they had that terrible accident, maybe they lost the ability to use their legs and their arms or their limbs in some capacity. But no, this woman was not in that situation. Period. But they're not going to let her son, Kevin Jr., have the power of attorney, even though it's a legally binding document. No, we know what's best for you. You see how funky they were? They went ahead and they did the first thing second and the second thing first. They didn't even let her come and stand up with her attorney to say, see, this chick is cool. She's fine. No, they flipped the script because $20 million was laying on the line. It goes on to say that there is also a question of why no one in Williams' orbit was given the opportunity to act as her financial guardian. Again, this question is difficult to answer due to the court documents being sealed. This is a very corrupt country. This is some Emil DeMarcos type stuff. I'm just going to close up everything and I'm going to take all the money and I'm going to buy all the shoes that I want in the world with it. I'm going to buy all the shoes that I want because I am the leader. I don't know who this woman is, the woman that was actually going through all of this. Okay. But I do have her tab up here open as well. The woman who, Lori Schiller, who is she? I don't care. Let's keep going. Again, it says that the question is why no one in her orbit was allowed to have the guardianship. Again, this question is difficult to ask because the court's documents are sealed, but it is possible that the court wanted a neutral third-party professional in a role instead of someone with close ties to her who could more easily exploit her. No, I'm sorry. Accountants and bankers exploit people all the time. I know clients that have had customers. I know clients as a customer who have had accountants who have jacked them up. My sister's uh, in-law took the accountant took the money from the husband over years and years, and just stole money and just kept stealing money, and then lying about all the stuff that he had put inside of the accounts for his taxes on his businesses. Lied completely, never paid the taxes, never did any of the things that he said that he did. This man ended up almost going to prison and had to file bankruptcy, had to show that he didn't know what on the planet was going on with his accountant. This man had gone broke and had to start all over again. Yeah, we can trust these people. We can trust them. Yeah, we can trust them. Now, it does say, could Wendy Williams have taken precautions to avoid being placed under guardianship? This is why I was telling y'all earlier to listen carefully. Technically, Wendy Williams was taking precautions when she granted her son the power of attorney, as previously mentioned. However, there are additional safeguards that can be put in place to potentially avoid the need for a guardianship or conservatorship. For example, if the alleged incompetent person has placed their assets in a trust and designated a successor trustee to manage the trust assets in the event of their incapacity, a guardianship conservatorship could potentially be avoided. Something else that Wendy could have done was to designate someone via her estate planning documents to act as her guardian in the event of her incapacitation. This way, even if she did have to cede control of her finances to a guardian, it would be a guardian of her choice. The reality is that even if appropriate safeguards are put in place, they will not guarantee that guardianship conservatorship will not be required down the road. For example, the person designated as the attorney, in fact, or successor trustee could be unfit to fulfill their power of attorney obligations or their trustee responsibilities, respectively, or they could refuse to act. And in some cases, the fiduciary themselves could be perpetrating financial abuse against the alleged incompetent person, rendering them unfit to act. As such, under certain circumstances, guardianship conservatorship may be may be the only viable means of protecting an allegedly incompetent person. Here's another one. Wendy Williams, Wells Fargo update. Will Williams regain control of her finances? The answer is there are currently no updates on Wendy's status with Wells Fargo's legal battle as of August of the particular year that we're looking at. This was a couple of years ago. The Wendy Williams financial guardianship is still ongoing. Wells Fargo has been taking a back seat in the Wendy Williams guardianship since the court appointed a financial guardian who is now the one in charge of overseeing her finances. This means that Wells Fargo now only carries out financial transactions. You see what they did? The woman didn't want them to even be her bank. But not only did they hold on to her money, they also held on to her business. Do you understand what I'm saying? They still have control of her banking business. She didn't even want them no more. She was going in to close her accounts. So we're going to shut you down. You ain't taking this money out of our bank. It's the same thing when you try to go into a bank and ask for a specific amount of money and they tell you got to come back in 3 days. Because your money is out there on Wall Street somewhere bouncing around. Yeah. So it says this means that Wells Fargo now only carries out the financial transactions for Williams if it is directed to do so by her court-appointed guardian, who when I get to the pictures, I'm gonna tell them off. I can't wait to get to these pictures, because if this is a court appointed guardian, they need to have something needs to be stomped. Anyway, who may or may not have to discuss the financial decisions with Wendy prior to making them. Williams' former lawyer stressed that Williams has been unhappy with both her appointed guardian and with the terms of her financial guardianship, which only provides her with minimal allowance. Williams' dissatisfaction with her guardianship is understandable, given that she is someone who is used to having millions of dollars at her disposal. Well, she earned it. She built that. So you ain't in control, and you ain't never free. When you think you free, you ain't free in this place. You ain't free. There is no freedom. If this one example can be had, and if this one example can exist, that nullifies the very thought process of freedom. Williams' former lawyer stressed that she's been unhappy. It says New York does allow guardianships to be contested by an opposing party filing a cross petition. The party could be anyone from the subject of the guardianship to one of their family members or friends who is not in agreement with the proposed choice of guardian. Because it's unclear what has transpired thus far in the Wendy Williams guardianship matter due to the secrecy in the case, because it's all shrouded and it's all covered up and it's sealed. It is difficult, the article continues, to know what Williams' options are in disputing the arrangement. Chances are that she's already contested the guardianship with the help from her lawyer, but was unsuccessful in convincing the court that she has the capacity to manage her own money. How is Wendy Williams' health, it says. Williams has been public about suffering from serious medical issues, such as the immune disorder like Graves' disease, COVID-19, and addiction. In 2019, she also revealed on her talk show that she had been residing in a sober home. Since her 21-year marriage dissolved due to her husband's infidelity and the child that he had out of wedlock, it's possible one or more of these medical issues could have served as the reason for guardianship. You know what? I'm going to say this right now. Yeah, that can make you a little upset. But if this lady can still tell you who the president of the United States was at the point of them having to ask her if she needed a guardian, which they did not do, if she could tell you that 1 + 1 wasn't flying monkeys, if she could tell you the name of her first grade teacher, if she could tell you how old she is, if she could tell you all the different questions that they ask individuals when they give them a psych test, yeah, homegirl should have still had her money. Because what she went through with that man, with his no good self, taking a woman and having this woman in her stuff, in her money, in her account. By the way, they had to sell that house. Did you guys know that? They had to sell the house because he lost access to all the money that Wendy had. Yeah. So yeah, infidelity, but the woman wasn't crazy. She didn't lose her mind. She's still running around talking right now. And I don't care how she looks. The woman is probably drinking more than she's ever drunk now. I mean, there's just so many things that could have happened to her during this time because of this, the stress that's brought on because of this. It says, while it is impossible to know how Wendy Williams' guardianship case will play out without having access to the documents, it's safe to assume those close to her, as well as her fans, will continue to fight to help her regain control of her hard-earned assets in the same way that people did for Britney Spears. It is conceivable that the court will order for control over Wendy Williams' Wells Fargo assets to be returned to the former talk show host. Yeah, after they done blew all of it and gave her about $2 million after all of that. After all the fees, after everything that they've been doing, any investments that she had that maybe they had a control over the portfolio, all the investments that's going up and down when they should be saying sell and when they should be saying buy, all of the stuff just going away. They taking the money from out of this and money out of that to go pay for this and go pay for that, pay for stuff she probably don't even know about. So yeah, they might give it to her when there ain't nothing left. It's like somebody, and I know we've all done it. We may not do it now, but it's like somebody when you was a little kid asking you for a swig of your soda pop and you give it to them, and then they go ahead and suck it all up and give you nothing but a cup of ice back. Here, Wendy, here's your money. Here you go, Wendy. We done. You can take it now. Ain't nothing left in my wallet. It's all gone. Y'all done took it all. You want to just throw the wallet at them. You just want to throw the cup of ice at them. Bing, right upside the head. Let me finish this last piece again. I'm going to repeat this. It is conceivable that the court will order for control over Wendy Williams' Wells Fargo assets to be returned to the former talk show host. However, because she has already been deemed incapacitated by the court, it will likely be an uphill battle for her to prove that she is capable of managing her millions. Somebody at that court, they need to look at somebody at that court. They need to find out what rapper P. Diddy was able to say that something was wrong with her, that somebody, that she has a lot of enemies. Now, here's the question for you, my friend. Can a bank freeze my accounts? Wendy Williams' guardianship woes can make anyone fearful about the safety of their own bank accounts. In Wendy Williams' case, Wells Fargo had a clause within the agreements she signed that enabled them to pause or reject instructions for a proposed transaction if exploitation, dementia, or undue influence was suspected. A good way to ensure that your account cannot be wrongfully frozen is to carefully inspect all of the agreements that you sign with a bank, or better, have an experienced attorney inspect them. Banks are entitled to freeze assets for a variety of reasons, including fraudulent activity and assets being used to commit crime, among other things. But another way to look at this issue is to consider the possibility that the bank is actually trying to protect your assets from harm. If there are suspicious transactions that do not appear to be of sound mind, it isn't necessarily a bad thing for your assets to be temporarily frozen, the article says, as one wrong move could deplete them. Furthermore, the probate court has the power to unfreeze the assets, so you will have the opportunity to argue your case to try to have the frozen assets or the frozen funds released. If you learn that your bank account, the article by these attorneys state, is frozen, be sure to hire an attorney as soon as possible to protect your financial interests and to help you regain control of your finances, if doing so is possible under the circumstances. You guys, I hope I didn't bore you by reading this to you, because there's a lot of people out there that don't really understand what happened with her and how this circumstance has caused her undue hardship. There's a lot of people who just think, she didn't have any money when they closed the account. I saw somebody say that earlier, and I thought, no, that's not true. So now we're going to look at a video. We're going to only make sure that you can read the little captions, because I will not be using it. There's music in the background. Okay. So let me give that to you guys, and I'll give you the full screen. I'll be narrating it to the best of my ability, because sometimes they move a little fast. Let me go ahead and fix it before I do that. Let me get the playback speed a little slower, so that way I can read it. How about that? Okay. Again, this will not have sound. It does not belong to me. It is from Entertainment Tonight, and it is Wendy Williams' son gives a rare interview about the concerns for his mother. All right. Okay, here we go.
I have no money.
This person is asking her, did you drink all of this? And she's saying, yeah, I drank it. Let me make sure that we have the settings. I put on the captions. I'll do it. I'm going to start it over. English generated. Okay, I'm going to start this over, you guys. I hope that's okay. She says, I have no money, and I'm going to tell you something. If it happens to me, it could happen to you. These are a part of the clips from her new show. Okay. She's losing her memory, the person says, and she's in a wheelchair. Did you see a neurologist? She says, to find out if I'm crazy. She goes, Wendy is in crisis. In this new dramatic trailer, The Lifetime. Hold on, this is moving too fast. I thought I put it on slower. Hold up. Yeah, it's on normal. I'm going to make it go real slow. Yeah, because I needed to. And I'm going to start it again because I can. I don't like how they try to make it look crazy. But anyway, I'll tell you what I think about that. She says, I have no money. And I'm going to tell you something. She says that if it happened to me, it can happen to you, is what she's saying. If it happens to me, it can happen to you. And that's true. We just got through looking at that. Felicia, doggone good and well, that's too slow. Okay. She said, he says, did you drink this whole thing today? The whole thing. Keep it right there, she says. I think she's losing her mind and in a wheelchair. Did you see a neurologist to find out if I'm, she says, crazy? She said, Wendy is in crisis. In this new dramatic trailer, The Lifetime dropped this morning, and it's the first real glimpse that we've had of the talk show host in over a year, the article says here. All I know is how to be famous. I really want to be back on television. Wendy is actually an EP on the doc, which has followed her life since 2022. It features an interview with her inner circle, including her manager, sister, and her son, Kevin. My mom has done a great job, he said, at making it seem like everything is okay. Always win. I don't know what that win boy is, but make sure that you look to 3 to 5. But the reality, I don't understand that either. Sometimes going wrong. And just read it yourselves because I'm badgering the snot out of it. And this is without a glass of wine. Hold on, let me go ahead and back it up again because I just can't be beat. I can't give up. I don't know if I can play it. Let me see.
Answer like, where is Wendy right now? And is she okay?
I miss my family.
Here's what we know. Wendy remains under a court-ordered guardianship. Back in June, her manager told us she was in treatment.
Wendy is at a facility doing her best to be her best. She's taking it day by day. People forget that she deals with grave disease.
The 59-year-old who fainted on air in 2017 has been open about her battle with
some music
addiction,
with us so that
which
they don't
put her
jack
show on hiatus before it ended in 2022.
I have been living in a sober house. I lost over a decade of my life being hooked on cocaine.
The two-part doc, Where is Wendy Williams, premieres February 24th on Lifetime.
There have been random people around you
Stealing money from me.
getting money, whatever the case may be.
Enough.
All right, now here's what I want to say about the people that they claim is taking care of her, because we got more stories to go on. What I don't like is the fact that they're saying, oh, they're giving her an allowance and that, what, this and that. Wendy would never walk around with her hair looking like that. And that's the part that ticks me off, because at least if you let her sister take care of her, sure, her sister's probably going to get paid and take some money. Sure she is. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. That is going to happen. If something happened to me, then the only person I would have taking care of me is somebody that I know that loves me. Probably wouldn't be a blood relative, though. I have a couple of very good, strong friends that wouldn't let nothing happen to me. Okay, one lives right here in Alabama. But the point that I'm making is they have her looking like a hot rump mess. They have her, apparently she's not taking her medications because her eyes even look more bugged now. And with a thyroid disease, that is a very serious thing. And the eyes will bulge. They're not taking care of her. And the poor thing is drinking. I don't care if nobody don't like what I'm saying. The people want me to run her down. I'm not going to run her down. I'm not going to do that to her. I'm not going to do that to anybody, especially if I ain't done nothing to me. Or if I can't see that you're doing some, crazy, crafty stuff out there in the world. This woman is in crisis, and they took her money and lied and said that it was to take care of her, when now she looks worse than she did prior to them putting their mitts all off in her money. Yeah, that part. All right. So I'm going to read this because the woman, Lori Schiller, I'm going to read what she does. We're going to look at her, the financial advisor overview. Let me see. I think I'm going to go here. Just a really quick one line here. Tells us who she is. Lori Schiller, address is 1211 Avenue of Americas. This is where she was at the time. This is the person that was her financial advisor, who was an employee of Wells Fargo. She says, my commitment to you as a financial advisor with Wells Fargo Advisors, I can offer you a wide range of services, from helping you to select individual investments to developing a retirement plan with access to a broad array of company resources, including research analysis and economic and market experts. And I can help you make informed investments decisions based on your specific needs. Contact me, and there's the number. I'm gonna leave that alone because I could rip her one, but because I feel like when Wendy said that she was not happy, that she felt like something was up with her money and she went to the bank, I feel like, yeah, she was right. Yeah, I feel like that. And who is her daddy? Who is this woman's daddy? Do he know somebody at the court? See, that's how my mind be working. Okay. Now this right here was from the November 4th, 2022. So it's a couple of years, about a year and a few months old. You see that hair right there? They could at least get the woman some new wigs. They could at least do that, but they're not doing that. They're giving her major disrespect, if you ask me. That's major disrespect to have this woman looking the way she does, knowing doggone good and well that she's an entertainer. That part really that pisses me off. It really does tick me off to know that they would allow her to walk around looking like that. Okay? Yeah, you were. Yeah, side-eyeing them. Mm-hmm. So here we go. Let me give you guys this make it bigger. But it ticks me off. It's not cool. It's just not cool. Wendy Williams, financial advisor, claims that she is a prisoner in her own home and has been forced to hire armed security to protect her family from death threats. Lori Schiller exclusively tells Page 6 that ever since the former daytime talk show host publicly claimed she canned the Wells Fargo advisor, she's been through hell. Quote, I have 24-hour armed police officers outside of my house, kind of vetting everyone that comes to my front door. It's starting to affect my life. I'm a prisoner in my own home, she tells us, adding that to her continued work on the account has been putting her family at risk. She says, I'm kind of living in my own personal hell here, is what she says. Okay. Schiller tells Page 6 that despite Williams' claim, she never was fired. She was never fired. She was never fired. And she is still the lead advisor on the account amid the talk show host lawsuit against the bank. I bet if you dig into this chick's past, she got a lot of stuff going on down there at her job. I guarantee you this ain't the first customer who decided they wanted to get rid of her. Okay? It says she's been having all positive conversations with Williams, with whom she was very close to for 12 years. Yeah. You was close to her for 12 years. Well, you know what? Familiarity breeds contempt, homegirl. Knowing her the way that you knew her breeds contempt. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You sitting up here saying you worked for her for 12 years? Familiarity breeds contempt. Familiarity breeds contempt. And not only does it do that, but it also makes you jealous. When you see a person progressing and you still only getting X amount of dollars, and you still only getting this and that, maybe a commission here, a commission there, or some commissions because you're handling this case or that case. But if everybody starts to jump ship, do you still get the commissions you was getting? Are you still getting residuals if people just drop out of it all? $20 million. And by the time this lady see it, if she ever sees it, it ain't going to be that left. Let me hurry up. Despite the public lashing from 58-year-old Williams, she talking about we still have all positive conversations. No, you don't. That woman don't like you. You are not telling the truth. Because according to Wendy Williams, what she has said publicly, even on the new show that's supposed to be coming out on February 24th and 25th. By the way, how was she, Wendy, able to become an executive producer of this Lifetime show? If you don't have any money, you're the executive producer. How was she able to access money for that? You give her money to show the public how bad this poor lady is looking right now, but you won't give her money to maintain herself on a daily basis, to make sure that she's got people coming in, taking care of her hair, taking care of her nails, making sure that she's got dressers like she normally had, making sure that she's got wardrobe people like she normally had. How you going to take somebody's money and say you're a conservator, you have a conservatorship over them, a guardianship, and you're taking care of them. You're going to protect them from themselves, and you can't even let her look like she did in her own time. How dare they? How dare they? Got this woman's hair looking crazy. You don't wear wigs that wear you. This lady, that wig we just saw her, both of them was wearing her. She was not wearing it. And that ain't how Wendy went out like. She did not go on the set like that. She did not sit outside like that. They would always catch her with these crazy looking pictures after this whole thing happened so that they can talk about her. They took the woman, every single one of her namesakes that she had a social media page under her name. They took them all down. Yeah. Copyright, you know. Yeah. Anyway. This lady talking about they have had all positive conversations with whom she was very close with for 12 years, despite the public lashing. Following Wells Fargo's February claims that she needs a guardian, Schiller says that she has been lauded internally by the bank for the work that she's done to protect Williams from those who mean her financial harm, but the bank won't publicly support her. See this? She needs a dresser. She needs somebody that deals with her, making sure that if you're going to wear that, let us make sure that you got this right. Let us make sure that all of this looks right before you go out. Let us help you. But I guarantee you that woman doesn't have access to a lot of her stuff. All I've done was follow the law to the T, and I've been praised by Wells Fargo for all of my efforts. This woman got some problems. She says, I've given them ample time to come to my defense and make a statement. And for some reason, they're just putting it to the side. Schiller and her attorney, Anthony Mango, who was also present during the phone conversation, said that there is allegedly a gag order in place within the lawsuit, which since has been sealed, so they couldn't discuss specifics about the ongoing case. She did, however, note that Wells Fargo, not Schiller, pursued the guardianship over Williams because of a pattern of behavior that made issues apparent. No. If this, you see this lady right here, if this is how she's normally looking, then if somebody is going to have conservatorship over her, they should make sure they do their due diligence to make sure this woman looks like this all the freaking time until she says, go out. I don't want no hair today. I don't want no makeup today. You guys just go on. I don't want hair and makeup. Y'all leave me alone for a minute. Let me get myself together. Let me get myself together. Yeah, but that's not how they got her walking out looking. And I guarantee you that if she had a great deal of options of stuff to wear, she would not dress in the fashion with which they've got her walking around in New York. And it really does burn my butt. It does. It makes me really upset that they're doing that to her. It's just really not cool. She says, Wells Fargo took the lead. She says, I just don't think people understand the complexities of what goes on behind the scenes. No, you're the one who had to tell them that in your, listen, we ain't stupid. Me, the chat, none of us are stupid. And you guys, please don't forget to hit the like button, and please don't forget to hit the super chat or the super messages. Okay? Don't forget to help support the show. So we're not crazy. We already know. We already know what's really going on. that if this lady was doing her job, Wells Fargo was so big, they would have never just focused right in on that. She had to go to them and say, hey, look, there's something going on. I don't know. But you know her husband, and they got a woman, and he got a woman, and they having a new baby, and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. I don't think I think she's having a fit. She was just crying to me on the phone. So she wasn't crying to you on the phone. And this is hypothetical. Because y'all had a 12-year relationship. I thought you said y'all was good friends, that you had a great working relationship with her. If the woman was distraught when you talked to her, it wasn't the first time. And if it wasn't the first time that she was distraught, what would make you all of a sudden feel like you got to go? No, sister, it's just what she said. She saw something funky. You was going to lose your job. And you ran and you told that. Allegedly. Allegedly. Schiller explains that the guardian, who was appointed shortly after Wells Fargo initial filing, serves as a conduit between Williams and Wells Fargo. The Wendy Williams Experience author has access to her money that is meant to support her livelihood, but the guardian will object to a request that appears to be from someone exerting undue influence. So can I go get me some new hair? That could be somebody wanting to exert undue influence. Can I go get me some pants that really look nice on me? I see that there's an inexpensive pair of BCBG pumps. Can I go get those? BCBG tennis shoes. Can I go get those? I see it's a nice top you got to go flip and ask for the money that you set up there and sweated for because somebody was trying to cover their rump. That's exactly what this is. This chick was covering her behind. She was trying to beat her to the punch. Wells Fargo won't say anything about me. They've told me that I did a great job, but for whatever reason, they just won't tell the public, and I don't know what it is because I'm a narcissistic weirdo who really, 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 really was jealous of her all along. Allegedly. So this is her book? Let me get to this. Is this her book? Yeah, it's a nice book, Wendy. Nice book. Okay, let me finish. While we are unable to discuss employee matters, the financial well-being of our clients is at the heart of everything we do, a spokesperson for Wells Fargo told Page 6. Williams' former attorney, she probably can't afford to pay no more of her attorneys, but Williams' former attorney, LaShawn Thomas, told Page 6 in May that the shock jock was not in agreement with the guardian. Wendy, it says, quote, Wendy has been very clear that she does not want a financial guardian to tell her what she can and cannot do with her money, Thomas said. Thomas added that Williams feels she's capable of hiring her own team who would work for her and not for the court. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Wells Fargo has no questions and answers regarding my money. This is not fair. And Lori Schiller and Wells Fargo has this guardianship petition about me, about keeping me away from my money. Williams said on a video posted to social media, this is not right and this is not fair. Just months later, however, Williams would check back into rehab facility to treat her alcohol addiction. She damn right she drinking. She drinking? Yeah, she drinking. Yeah. She is. And we know this. We know this. How can you go from having to be able to take care of your son and give him anything that you want him to have and go out and buy anything that you want and take care of your business and take care of everything, and then all of a sudden somebody that you're about to fire runs and says that something is wrong with you, that you can't take care of yourself and that somebody needs to step in. And now all of a sudden, just to get back at you, here you go. Here's the video. Here is the video. Let me scroll down. Read, listen, and just, it's terrible. Let me make sure you can hear it though. Can we view it on Instagram? Let me see if I push it over there to view it on Instagram.
Thing is that I've been asking questions about my money. And when I began asking questions about my money, suddenly Lori Schiller has got no response regarding my money. I want my money. This is not fair. And Wells Fargo has no questions and answers with regarding my money. This is not fair. And Lori Schiller and Wells Fargo have this guardianship petition about keeping me away from my money. This is not right. And you know this is not fair. And this guy named Bernie Young, I know for a fact that Bernie Young used my American Express card to hire an attorney to file a petition against me. That was done with my American Express card. Bernie Young, you're no good. And this is not fair at all, you know? And then there's this person, a former doctor, okay, had medical information about me that I never even got. It was sent over to Lori Schiller. So I haven't gotten the stuff. I fired the doctor. And again, all I want to know is, where is my money? This is not right. And certainly, this is not fair. This is not fair. You know, Wells Fargo has used all this stuff to create the guardianship over me. This is not right. And certainly this is not fair.
I'm going to add this while she's saying this. You know, when a person is drinking a lot, I had a cousin-in-law, and she used to drink a lot, and she was so bright and everything, but she had lost her baby when the baby was very young in a domestic violence situation. She took the baby over to visit with the father, and he and his ex-girlfriend did something, and the baby was no longer with her at that point. This lady really lost her mind because of all the alcohol. So I'm not saying that Wendy is, incapacitated because of what they said. I think what I'm seeing is somebody who's drinking a lot, and somebody who's also being coached by whomever else it is in the room that's, sitting there with her trying to say, and talk about this and talk about that, when they should shut up. Because if you look at her, she looks like she's talking just fine. I don't give a rip. That's not incapacitation. Yes, she does repeat the names, but it's because she's also doing recall, because she does have some autoimmune diseases. So she's doing a lot of recall. And that happens. Trust me, I know. So whatever the issue is, this lady ain't what they said she was. So let's go ahead and...
The New York court system is, without evidence, they're being weird to me, this court system. Without evidence, they took all this information and continued with what's going on with me based on what Wells Fargo is doing. This is not fair. This is not fair, And the New York court is treating me like they did in, do you remember Kung Fu judge case? Do you remember that Kung Fu judge case? That's not right, and that is not fair. Lori Schiller, Bernie Young, and Wells Fargo. Please let me have access to my money. This is not right. And again, this is not fair. Have a pleasant day. Thank you.
Okay, so now we see exactly what she felt about them taking over her money the way that they did. The ignorance is amazing to me, because a lot of people did not know, just the general public was ignorant to the fact that Wells Fargo literally seized this woman's money. They were thinking that, oh, well, she just lost the money and this and that happened and all this other stuff. But in my impression, if you're going to put a guardian over somebody, I'm going to say this again, then you should make sure that they weave looks the way that it did when they was rocking it, that they makeup looks the right way. This woman has $20 million in the bank. And because the bank said, one of their employees said that she did not appear to be normal, that there was something going on, they took her money and then backstabbed her. The courts even backstabbed her. And this is my opinion. The courts backstabbed her, but not even allowing her to have a doggone hearing and let her family and her lawyer go and say, no, I'm straight. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I tried to fire this woman. And the next thing I know, when I went to go get my statements because I felt like something was up with my money, now all of a sudden they're telling me that she told them that there was something wrong with me, but they didn't do that because they was trying to cover their behind, because letter A, it was Wendy Williams. B, Wendy Williams was accusing their employee of messing with her money. And C, they done went down for a whole lot of other stuff recently. Constantly having to send out checks, constantly having to make things right from as far back as 2010, 11, 12, 13. The bank is so to have that kind of stuff, they would rather just go ahead on and spend up all their money saying they was taking care of her, $20 million worth, just so that they can keep this chick that she accused of messing with her money out of the limelight, just so that they can make sure they save face. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And as long as I'm here with a free opinion, I'm going to make my opinion. That's my opinion. If you're going to take care of this woman, then you need to have her hair done the right way. She got $20 million. How is she going to ask you guys for money and you won't let her you let her go get that alcohol though, huh? You let her order alcohol, but you won't let her get her people in there to fix her hair and do her makeup and make her look good. This woman was all right before you guys ever tampered with her. So now you guys allow her also to come on out here and then just put this movie out that's going to be on February 24th and February 25th on Lifetime. This is an unsurly situation. It's not nice. Yeah, that's who I was asking. That's what I was asking, Sheila. Yeah, that's exactly what I was asking. Who is her daddy? Who is she? Who is her husband? Who is her people? Where she come from? How much pull does she have? She didn't have to have no pull. If when Wendy Williams started barking about her money and that went to anybody above homegirl, they went already and did, they already written pulled documents and information. And the better thing for them to do at that point, if they did find something messy, is to do just what their dog self did. The only reason why they would keep her is to keep her quiet. That's the only reason. And that's the reason why they didn't give her this glowing. They told me privately that I was just a glowing and exemplary employee, and I just don't know why they won't come out, because they know doggone good and well that perjury gonna get them in some trouble. And it's easier, if it ever come out, to blame the theft on you. How about them apple cakes? How about that? How about that? Before we leave here, I want to go on ahead and look at the financial advisor. You guys, if you cannot leave a super chat, make sure at least that you leave a thumbs up, please, for the video. All right. So this is what a financial advisor is supposed to do. A financial advisor is a finance professional who provides consulting and advice about an individual or an entity's finance. Financial advisors can help individuals and companies with their financial goals sooner by providing their clients with strategies and ways to create more wealth, reduce costs, or eliminate debt. Now, here's what I'm going to tell everybody. Based on what that first attorney said, the document that we were reading, I recommend that if you haven't already done so, you go ahead and turn everything into a trust. Because according to what we just saw and according to what we just read, and if you remember, they've been updating all kinds of statements and stuff when you get your bank accounts. Every year they update the stuff and we don't ever pay attention to it. We just keep pushing. You better go ahead and read it over with a fine-tooth comb, because God forbid you should go to Las Vegas and win a couple of million and go stick it in the bank so that you can drive home without somebody bopping you upside the head and they take off with your money and say there's something wrong with you. Because like she said in the very beginning, if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. And that's exactly right. See what my brother said right here. We looked at that at the very beginning. Yep. And it all happened in succession. In month after this month, after that month, after this month, everything happened in succession. And not only did she diss them, but she also took it and was fully. She had every one of them. Because when they said that she was sick with COVID in one of those years, they said that it was a breakthrough case. And we just read what a breakthrough case meant. Sheila was the first person to go ahead and put that up. So yeah, it's something real messed up. And it is not exactly what they've been telling us. And you know, sometimes when we don't know the full truth, we sort of listen to other bloggers or other people and listen to what they think. No, the bank took her money. And not only did they lock her out of her account, they became her guardian and conservator. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. They became her guardian and her conservator. That ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. So there's that. Terrible, terrible. All right, folks. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning into the podcast tonight. Thank you so very much for hanging out. Thank you so very much for giving me your feedback and giving us the thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. I don't buy it, at least not on Saturdays. Yeah, that was actually a good one. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to become a member, I'd love to have you. And so with the rest of the members, we're going to have our members only trivia coming up pretty soon. Very soon. Very, very soon. Members only trivia will be coming up. I want to thank two people last night that sent in cash apps to support the channel. I don't know if I can use their names. So let me give you I'm going to say your initials. Okay. That's what I'm going to say. Let me go over here and look at it. DC. Thank you so very much for the blessing. And, I'm just going to say the first initial because you have your nickname here. I'm going to use your first initial of your nickname and the last initial. So PS of the same word. Okay. PS and DC. Thank you both for supporting the channel and supporting the show last night. I so appreciate each and every one of you guys. For those of you who have sent in cash apps and those of you who've also hit the super chat or the super sticker here. So you guys take care of yourselves because nobody else is going to do it. Make sure that you do just what those attorneys said. If you haven't already done it, consider getting yourself a trust baby because I know that I'm running. After that, I ain't got much, but I tell you one thing, I pray that don't ever happen because that was really sad. That was really, really sad. Okay. You guys take care of yourselves. Take care of the ones that love you and make sure that when I see you again, that you tell me that you did take care of my friend because my friend is you. All right. Peace. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way, helping you to make it through another day.